Over in the South region, number 9 Creighton versus number 8 Louisville. Second half, Creighton up 16. Stephen Ashworth, the senior, driving, and he gets that tough lay-in to go. Ashworth actually has his 9-month-old son in attendance. And later, Jemiah Neal gives to Ashworth, and he hits from the logo. Ashworth with a big game, and his son, I'm sure, is loving that. Puts him up 22. Creighton making easy work of Louisville, the ACC tournament runner-up. And now late in the half, it's Jason Green throwing the full court heave to Neal. He slams it down, looking like a receiver there on the go route. Neal transferred to Creighton for his senior year at a career-high 29. Creighton cruising through to the second round, 89-75. Back with more March Madness Midwest region. First round, number 13, High Point up against number 4, Purdue. Late first half, 6-point. Purdue lead off the missed 3. Miles Colvin's there for the putback slam. First tournament since 2019 that Purdue doesn't have Canadian Zach Edey on this team. Next possession, it's Camden Heide with another Purdue putback slam. Boilermakers are at minimum a top 4 seed for the 8th tournament in a row. That's the longest active streak, and they led by 10 at the half. Midway through the second half, Purdue's up 5. Braden Smith to Trey Kaufman-Wren, and he makes the easy bucket. 2 of Kaufman-Wren's game-high 21, and led the team in scoring this past season, by the way. And later in the half, Smith for the deep 3, drains it. Smith and Kaufman-Wren combining for 41 of Purdue's 75 points. Purdue ends a High Point's 14-game win streak. That's the second longest active streak among the tournament teams. High Point's done, and they're out in their first ever March Madness game. All right, number 14, Montana versus number 3, Wisconsin. John Tonje enters as the Badgers' leading scorer, averaging just under 20 points per game. First half, Wisconsin up 3. Tonje looking for the big dunk, but he can't get it to go. Narrowly missing the highlight reel play, and he was held off the score sheet early on, but he does start to heat up. Later in the half, Tonje, he drains the 3 and draws the foul. He'd complete the 4-point play and finish with 15. Badgers leading by 8 at the half. Second half, 6-point Wisconsin lead. John Blackwell driving. He gets the layup and the harm. He led all players with 19, and then after Montana cut the lead to 4, it's Carter Gilmore for 3. Yes, silencing the crowd. 5 Wisconsin players finishing with double-digit points. They move on to round 2, taking it 85-66. Midwest region, another number 1 Houston taking on SIU Edwardsville. Houston up 11 in the first half, and it's Milos Uzan driving and laying it off the glass. Uzan scoring 25 points in the Big 12 tournament final. The number 1 seeded Cougars leading by 20, and off the missed 3-ball there. Javier Francis will throw it down. And Houston enters as a number 1 seed for a 3rd consecutive year. And they're leading by 25 at this point in the final seconds of the half.
Under 10, now to 5. Taylor, his hands. That was a big steal. Uzan from midcourt to Cryer for 3. Yes!
L.J. Cryer, 15 points in the half. Houston wins big by 38. Number 1 seed in the Midwest is moving on. A 16 seed, and they're up against number 1 overall, Auburn. And early on, Miles Kelly. I have to remember knocking down 4 straight triples, and the Tigers entering as 32-point favorites. Late in the half, back comes Bama State. Amar Knox cuts the lead to 1. Hornets hanging with the top seed for a while, although down 10 at the break. Second half, Auburn big hitting to pull away. SEC Player of the Year, Janai Broom with the easy flush, and moments later, Dahad Pettiford banks it from deep, and the foul. The Tigers up 16, biggest lead of the game at that point. And then it's Dylan Cardwell exploding to the rim. Monster finish, part of a 26-7 run. And the other end of the floor. And a scary moment coming up here for Cardwell. He goes down with a knee injury here. And wait for his reaction as his teammates walk away, just pounding the floor. Fortunately, he'd be okay. And Auburn, number 1, is just fine. They win it by 20. Number 12, McNeese State versus number 5, Clemson. And McNeese State equipment manager, Amir Aura Khan, first manager to ever receive an NIL deal for name, image, and likeness. He's a team favorite. Even the cheerleaders wearing socks with his face on it. fans coming to him for pictures, and a lot of people made a bracket showing a lot of confidence in the Cowboys, having them win the national championship.
Rebounding and wiping up wet spots on the court. I put up Wilt Chamberlain numbers.
All right, let's see. To the game, McNeese State, 12 seed, already up 8. Midway through the first, Christian Shoemate comes flying in for the putback. Clemson, one of just 3 teams to beat ACC champion Duke. And later, Kadir Copeland, with a no-look pass to Brandon Murray, lays in 2 of his team-high 21 in the game. McNeese State up 31-13 at the half. Could we have the 12-5 upset? Well, I already told you. Second half, McNeese State up 15. Shoemate back at it. Another monster putback dunk. McNeese never won a tournament game. And later in the half, Shoemate trying to put it to bed.
Back to Heidbreeder. He'll pop a 3. No good. And a rebound to Copeland. Copeland to Shoemate. Up ahead of the pack.
An exclamation mark for Shoemate in his 13-point performance. Clemson brought it a little closer at the end, but McNeese State able to hold on. The 12 seed, yes, sad Tiger there, knocking off Clemson. McNeese State winning their first ever Division I NCAA tournament game, and they do advance to the second round. East Region, 11 seed VCU taking on the 6 seed BYU, and freshman Igor Demon, projected to be a first-round pick in the upcoming NBA draft. First half, Demon creates space and knocks down a step-back 3, and a little later on, Demon dials it up from downtown again, and there you go. Demon shooting 27% from 3 this season, and he hits his 3rd triple of the half. Came in averaging just under 11 points per game this season, finished with 15, and his teammate, Richie Saunders, great-grandson of the inventor of the tater tot. Where do we come up with these facts? Before the tournament, Orida, the parent company of Tot, signed Saunders to an NIL deal. Second half, Saunders, he drains the 3 to put BYU up 11. There's something for the tater tots. Next possession, Saunders drives the rim, the lay-in, and the harm, and 2 BYU players combining for 31 as they do win it. Georgia Gonzaga, number 9 versus number 8. Georgia making their 26th straight tournament appearance. Gonzaga was led by Aurora, Ontario native Ryan Nemhard, who leads the nation in assists at 9.8 per and early impact. Less than 30 seconds in, Nemhard dishing to Nolan Hickman and buries that 3. And now 8-0 Gonzaga. Nemhard from long range and gets the friendly bounce, and it falls. Gonzaga opens the game in a 13-0 run against the Georgia team, playing in their first NCAA Division I tournament in a decade. And Gonzaga would lead at 27-3 in the first. Late in the half, now an 18-point lead. Nemhard feeds Hickman again, nails another 3. 15 of his 18 points came in that first half. Nemhard finishing with 8 assists. Gonzaga cruising on to round 2.
Arkansas, Kansas. Hall of Fame coaches John Calipari and Bill Self going head-to-head for the 14th time in their careers. And just over 1,700 wins combined between the two. Incredible. First half, Boogie Flan drives, but he gets rejected by A.J. Storr. Not here. Flan playing his first game since January 18th, getting a warm welcome back. He finished with 6 points in his return. Second half. Look at this sequence. John L. Davis with a huge block, but Storr is there for the easy putback. Gives the Jayhawks their first lead of the half. But with 2 minutes to go, Kansas down by 1. Davis hits a huge 3 to put the Razorbacks up by 4. Arkansas would hold on to take it as Calipari gets the better of Self, who loses in the first round for the first time since '06. All right, number 13 Yale versus number 4 Texas A&M. End of the first half. Wade Taylor knocks down a deep 3. Gives the Aggies an 11-point lead going into the break. Second half now. Taylor finds Pharrell Payne for the jam, plus the foul. One of Taylor's 5 assists. That was nice, too. Looking to reach the second round for a second straight year, A&M. Also getting it done on defense. Manny Obaseka turns it over, but check out the effort on the other end for the chase down block. 3 minutes left, 9-point game. Anderson Garcia goes for the poster jam. And the Aggies, they move on 80-71.
All right, West Division we go. 11th-seeded Drake, 6th-seeded Missouri. Bennett Sturtz drives to the rim for the layup. He had 14 of Drake's 30 points in the half, second half. Drake up 13. Tavion Banks comes up with one of Drake's 13 steals before slamming it down. Drake has not advanced past the round of 64 since 1971. Back to Sturtz. Shot clock's winding down. He's going to hit the running triple. No, well, it's kind of a running triple, more of a three ball, but Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year, finishing with a game-high 21 points. Final minute, 6-point game. Sturtz finds Banks, and it's an alley-oop slam. Banks with 15 points off the bench. Sturtz and Banks helped Drake move to the second round for the first time in over half a century. 10-point win.
All right, 15-seed Omaha taking on the 2-seed St. John's. Legendary coach Rick Pitino leading his 6 different teams to the tournament. Late first, St. John's up 4. Lance Waddles jumper off the rebound. But Zuby Ejiofor, huge rejection. Pitino's average win margin in the opening round of the tournament is 31 points. They led by just 5 at half. But St. John's taking over in the second. Up 11 early on. It's R.J. Lewis Jr. Oh, a little alley-oop slam. Lewis, a projected second-round pick in the upcoming draft, was named the Big East Tournament's most outstanding player last week. And then a little later, now a 17-point game. It's Lewis with the triple. Game-high 22 points for Lewis, including a season-high 5 threes. St. John's outscores Omaha by 25 in the half for their first tournament win since 2000.
Threes for St. John's.
You gonna be watching Sturtz and Banks tonight? Maybe after Claus. Maybe after a rerun of Claus. Number 12, UC San Diego. Number 5, Michigan. Tyler McGuy nails the 3. Moments later, McGuy, the floater. McGuy had 25. Next possession, Trey Donaldson from deep. Michigan has the lead. It's not over yet. Final seconds. UC San Diego down 3 with possession. McGuy.
Three-pointer, no good.
For the tie. No guy.